Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for The Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 5, and it was called The Big Scary You, which is the unknown. Sorry if my voice cracks up or gets a little hoarse here and there throughout this review, because it's the fourth review I've recorded today. But either way, let's get to talking about this. Sort of just a brief overview way of doing these reviews, and giving my thoughts on different things. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. I'm getting sidetracked. I loved the long interrupted opening scene where we didn't have commercials for like the first 15 minutes, and it was just the one long scene going from Gregory and Simon into that meeting room and just seeing the entire meeting. I thought it was really, really cool because I like seeing the savior hierarchy and all the different, how they have like the workers and the saviors, and then sort of the bigger, more important saviors like, say, Laura or Arat or some of those other leader type guys. And then you have the big leaders like the bosses and lieutenants that we see in that meeting. And then, of course, there's Negan at the very top of things. So I love this big sort of hierarchy they have. And seeing each of the lieutenants, each of them has a really interesting personality and place within the saviors and place within the story even. I love how when Dwight gets up and says, I'm going out for a smoke, Negan's like, you don't want to be a part of this? You don't want some information? And he's like, nah, just tell me where to go and what to do and I'll do it. And just all the different things, how throughout the episode we see Gavin as sort of the smart but somewhat paranoid type. Regina, we don't know much about her, but you kind of get a clue for her personality, but I can't really sum it up in just a few words, really. Or then, who else we got? Or Simon, of course, sort of kind of overstepping his bounds, but he's like the firm right-hand man. Of all the people who are the lieutenants, he is sort of the one that comes forward as the most leader-like and takes charge the most. So we have all of them, and it's just a really interesting dynamic between the lot of them. Gabriel this episode is really great. He's one of my favorite characters already just because I love the way he's developed throughout the series. And I severely hope he doesn't die here because of what happened at the end. But I like how throughout the episode he talks and he talks and he gets under Negan's skin and he starts to sort of force him to open up and all that. And Negan ends up opening up about working with kids and talking about having his real wife who was ill and died, and he thinks that he's weak because he couldn't put her down. That was his moment of weakness. But they end up using the guts trick to escape. All that. The saviors inside have to deal with workers and finding out who the mole is and all that. The power goes off because Simon is preserving it since they can't get to their fuel, since they can't leave. Eugene figures out Dwight is the traitor, and I think the way they set this up is really cool. I didn't catch it the first time. I had to go back again and figure it out, where Eugene, when he picked up that piece, he got some of the paint on his fingers, and then later on when Negan has the bag and he's like, these weapon bags are ours, but they were given over to the people at Alexandria and their army and all that. And Eugene sees a little bit of paint on the bag and he notices that, oh, it's the same as Dwight's paint. The paint that Dwight's been using lately is on the bag that was given over to them. So he it's almost as if he catches Dwight red-handed in a way. So we have to see how Eugene is going to handle that knowledge. Then from there, Negan has Gabriel put into a cell. Eugene finds him and he's sick. And Gabriel says, we need to free Carson. I'm not sure how all that's going to work out, especially with them surrounded, but we'll see how all that goes. All I care about is Gabriel being healthy and all that. I do have something I want to say about that, but it kind of involves some comic spoilerish stuff. So after I end the video, stay tuned for that. After I end the video, for people who don't want to know that, I'll say what I think about that. But either way, moving along, Rick and Daryl, they fight over Daryl wanting to go rogue and kill innocent people pretty much. Daryl taking this a bit too far. They lose their guns and explosives in the fight though, so I mean, hey, at least it's not in the Savior's hands. Rick sees a helicopter. which is super, super. And the gate he looks to where he went, it looks to be the trash people's place. I just remember making the joke when we were watching and I saw the episode, and we just see the helicopter fly overhead, and I'm like, the trash people made themselves a helicopter out of bubble gum and scraps. So I thought it was funny because it looks like he actually goes up to what looks to be maybe the trash people's place. I don't know. Now, what I think that's going to lead to is he talks about his plan and all that, and they have kept talking about the plan, and Rick took all those pictures, and he said he was going somewhere with all the pictures and stuff. So I'm thinking that their plan might be for Rick to go to the trash people with all these pictures of the dead saviors to say, all right, the saviors can't offer you anything anymore. We just took down the saviors. Now are you willing to work with us? So I think that could be the plan, and that would mean that from now on within this war, they've lost the kingdom's fighting force, essentially, the majority of it at least. There are still some of them, I think, with Tara and Jesus' group, but other than them, most of the kingdom is gone, so these could be the replacements, the people to fill in where the kingdom is kind of gone, and that's the trash people. So, yeah, overall I thought it was a really good episode. I really like the way that a lot of it was shot. Like I said, the big part for me is that long opening scene. I really, really liked that. And I was just so drawn into, and I don't know, just the dialogue and the conversations and the characters. I was so drawn into that, paying so much attention to it. It was really well done. So yeah, that was great. I'd give it 8.5 trash helicopters out of 10. 8.5 out of 10, loved it. And I will say that like, comment, subscribe, and all that for those of you who don't want to hear what I was going to say that's kind of comic spoilery. So like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Follow on Twitter if you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you one, all that. And now, goodbye and thank you for those of you. But for those of you that wanted to hear what I say that was kind of comic spoilery, with what's happening with Gabriel and all that, I think it's leading to the saviors using the guts as poison on the weapons and all that. Because Negan mentioned to him when they're putting the guts on, hey, do you think or have any of you ever gotten sick from doing this? And then they do it, and then Gabriel gets sick, and it doesn't quite look like he's bitten or anything. So I think maybe he somehow got sick from the guts trick and all that. Don't know how. Maybe it was too much of it seeped it. Because we've seen people, like Rick has been all cut up and got covered in Walker guts and stuff before. But we've seen people that are all cut up or shot that get covered in Walker guts. But maybe just for whatever reason this time, he got too much of it into wounds or into his mouth or something. I don't know. And even then, Rick has had Walker guts all in his mouth too. But either way, maybe something like that happened. It's made Gabriel sick, and that's where Negan's going. And maybe Gabriel dies. Probably so if this is the case. I don't want him to, but I have the fear that he will. And maybe this is the idea that Negan will get to, hey, let's wrap our weapons in guts and use that. Or Gabriel could even survive, but just the sickness itself is enough to make Negan think, you know, we got something here, we can put guts on the weapons. Maybe just that bit of sickness is enough. But yeah, I guess that was just some thoughts I had that I didn't want to put in the main review because I thought it'd be a little spoilery, just to say that they use them. But either way, that's it. Like I said, like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this week's episode, my thoughts, all that. Subscribe for more The Walking Dead, both comics and TV show, much more on the channel. I do review the comics and all that, and I actually do live reactions to them as well. Then what else do we got? Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you up to there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to the Discord server to talk to us there, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.